Hello everybody, this is Fronito Bobbin here, and welcome back to Drive ATS 3. So today we have a special episode. Yes, today is the day that we're going to be doing some free driving. Yes, indeed, we're going to be getting into the free driving stuff for today. Now, of course, in just the last episode of this series, we did the flight mode episode, and that episode actually allowed us to get a closer look at some of the branch lines of this route. Well, I say branch lines. They're not really branch lines. They're just lines that exist because since this is a real world route, there are some lines which you're not actually supposed to drive on. Yeah, so you may have noticed in the flight mode episode, there was some lines that went over basically a big void. There was nothing there. It was just track, signals, a couple platforms, and a yard, and that was it. And that's because, well, in these career scenarios, of course, you don't get to drive on that track in them because, well, you're not supposed to. Well, free mode, however, does allow you to drive on the void parts of the line that you're not supposed to drive on. So that is exactly what we're going to be doing today. There are a total of 5 of them. And, well, we're going to be driving on all of them today. Well, actually, there's more than 5 of the branch lines. However, only 5, well, I say only 5 of them are drivable, and that's what we're going to be driving on today. So then, let's waste no more time, and let's drive over nothing. Before we get on the rails, be sure to check out my Fiverr gig. Link is in the description. And we are in. Yep, we're into the first. Oops. As this. Yep, okay, we are into the first of the fish, I guess. Okay, first of the 5 of the void lines. This is the first one. And we're here at Yamato Sedaji, which is well, station now, of course. Well, this is like the big. Well, it's the station before the station. This is like a big. I think there's like a big interchange point. As there, of course, there are 2 different lines here, which, well, we're going to be driving on both of them today. However, for this time, we're going to be driving on the south line. For this first drive. And we're going to be departing in a few minutes. Actually, well, not a few minutes, a few seconds. So this is a local train. This is service number 3981, and it runs down what is called the Kashihara line. Yes. So the Kashihara line is the first of the 5 drivable void lines, and we're starting off here in the east end of the line, and we're going to be going from east to west today. So we're going to start off with the eastern void lines, and then we will finish off on the western ones. Alrighty, so here we are then, driving once again in Drive ATS 3. However, we will be driving off to areas unknown today. Yeah. Well, I say areas unknown. They're not really unknown anymore since we checked them out in the flight mode video just last time. But this is the first time we were driving to them. Yeah. So in the first 17, or no, the 9, yeah, in the first 17 episodes of the series, we of course played all the career scenarios. And the career scenarios took us pretty much everywhere we can go in terms of where we can actually drive to. Yeah. However, this episode, though, of course, we have returned to the driver's cab. However, for this episode, we're going to be driving to the areas that we couldn't get to on the career scenarios because, well, we're not supposed to be going to these areas, but we are because we can. Yeah. So here's the big yard, which of course we've parked up before, but however, we are on a line which, of course, well, so this is the line that is part of the Kashihara line, which I don't actually know anything about. So if there's anyone who's actually familiar with this line in real life happens to be watching this, then do let me know. But anyway, this is the Kashihara line, which of course we can't go to in the scenarios because, well, as we're about to see, there is nothing here. So this is actually one of the lines that, of course, would be here though if this route was no more built up. But yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, we can't go here. I mean, we can't go here in the career scenarios anyway, but we can in the free drive scenarios. Oh yeah, and since we're in a free drive scenario, there are no points to be scored. So hey, if we get a emergency brake application, which might actually happen once or twice in this episode, then doesn't matter. Anyway, so now we're arriving at a station which is just called Kishihara Line. There's not really a name for the station, you know, other than the line that's on. Yeah, I don't know what the station's called in real life, so, yeah. Anyway, let's stop here. I just realized we're actually driving a free route, so it doesn't matter how good or how badly I stop, but I figured I would try to get as good of a stop as I can anyway. Alright, well, otherwise, so yeah, so here we are then over at a station, which of course is nothing here. Although now we're about to jump onto the true void in just a second. In fact, the doors have just closed. And we're ready to proceed. One thing I'm actually curious about is how fast we're actually going to be able to go. Okay, I'm going to worry about them later. I wonder how fast we're actually going to be able to go, because now this is just going to be straight track. Yeah. So yeah, so here we are now driving on a true void. There's nothing here. Yeah. And yeah, I didn't intentionally pick a local service, so we'll stop at that station. We actually have 7.5 kilometers to the yards. Yeah, so as we discovered, and I actually did a flight mode test on this line earlier today, just so I could see where the service was going. So there's nothing here now. Like we have Cantonary, but I think the Cantonary is actually going to stop at some point. So eventually we're just be driving through thin air on just some tracks. But yeah, welcome to the land of nothingness. Yeah. So yeah, but as you know, in the back in the Drive ATS 2 series that of course concluded just last summer, we drove the green train. Yeah, and of course the green train also drives over a void, and but not so much of a void as this one though. Yeah, and the interesting about the green train is that train runs on its own line that is totally separate from the main network. However, this track that we're driving on right now is part of the main network. So what you could do is that you could start a service in one of these yards that's like off the map, and then you could get onto the main line and then continue the service all the way to, well whenever actually. You know, either to the end of the journey, or maybe when, you know, you just want to go all the way until the timetable ends. Okay. Now, of course, this is a free mode scenario, so, I say scenario, it's only a scenario. But that being said, I'm still going to try my best to not break the speed limit and get a immersive brake penalty. Because otherwise, it's going to take us longer to get to our destination. The thing is still going to take a while anyway, because I believe we're actually going to get held up here by another train. As of course, we're not the only train on this middle of nowhere line. But yeah, another interesting thing I may as well say about this route is that, of course, well, as we discovered, there are no branch lines, or, well, let's say that there are no branch lines per se on this line. Like, this route is just a linear route, which goes from one end of the line to the other, and that's it. There are no branch lines on this route. Or at least, there are no branch lines until you play all the career scenarios, and then you unlock the free drive scenarios, in which case, then you can drive onto, well, technically there are 4 branch lines, actually. Yeah, 4 branch lines. The 5th line that we're going to be driving on is actually just the end of the line, but we'll of course see that later on in this episode. As Limited Express train there. But yeah. I tell you what, we're maxing out 100 kilometers per hour. Why is this line so long, though? Yeah. And now we're going at 65, because signal. Yep, even in the voids, we have signals. By the way, I think I mentioned the word both. I'll see what I can do about the thumbnail. But I don't want. I want to. Here's the funny thing, though. We do have canon error here. However, there are some void lines with no canon error. So I actually want to wait to get to that, because then that can make for a very interesting thumbnail indeed. Anyway, so we're coming about some traffic. Yeah, look at that. We're driving on a part of the route that we aren't really supposed to be on. But you know what? I am at least glad that this free mode does at least allow you to drive trains to parts of the route that you wouldn't normally go to. So it gives you something extra to do. And there's a red light. Unfortunately, no fast forward mode. Unless we're stopped at the station, which we're not. This is actually a bit of a long light here. And we got the emergency brake up. Oh well. Not like it matters. Well, since we're here, this is our train then, which is the this version of the red commuter train. And of course, here is the yard. I want to go forwards. There we go. And yeah, here's the yard. That exists in the middle of nowhere. Got some trains. Yeah. I'll wait for permission. Yeah. I guess we'll do some more flying around then. So here we are in the area unknown in the world of Drive ATS 3. What are the lights there? This is also really the first Drive ATS game to have something like this, where it's just some track that just exists in thin air. Because here's the thing, right? In the first two Drive ATS games, the main lines are all sort of there, you know? Oh, that's train. Yeah, that's train leaving. So you have lines that are, well, everything's there in the map itself. There's no real void like there is here. But of course, the Drive ATS 1 and 2 both have fictional routes, whereas this route is actually a real route. So, yeah. Rather creative solution, although I'm surprised they go with like a portal system though. Yeah. Like, this is definitely a weird way though of getting around the issue of like building a real route but then not building out the entire network. See, most games out there use portals, right? Like if there's a line that exists in real life but can't be there in the game. You know, most developers use portals, right? Where like trains can go to the part to that part of the map where there are no trains there, or no trains that can go there. Well, no player trains, but you know, the portals there spawn and despawn the trains. As Mr. Bangy is banging. However, Drive ATS 3 doesn't have portals. Rather, instead they just build out the line to a certain degree, and then they have a big yard. Okay, can we go now? Yes. Guai. Okay, now we can go. Alright, now we're going to enter the yard. I guess the train's gonna park up for a while. However, we're gonna move on to the next of the void line. I'm gonna call them void lines. Oh, that's a very weird looking set of points. Oh, that's why the train was being so janky. Huh. I should have watched that. Oh well. I guess you could call these branch lines, but they're not really. I mean, by definition, they are a branch line, but they're not a branch line that you're supposed to drive onto. So I'm just gonna just call them void lines for now. If any of you out there have a better name for these lines, let me know. But for today's episode, I'm just gonna call them void lines because they drive over a void of nothingness. Yeah, that's my reasoning. Well then, here we are about to pull into the yard, which is part of the Kashihara line, which of course doesn't need to turn of ATS. We just drove right through a signal post. Good job. That limited express train waiting. And there's a stopping marker. You know, I actually shouldn't be so concerned about like where I stop is again. There's no points, so the score doesn't matter. So even if my stop accuracy is terrible, then no one's gonna care. So I can just stop, wherever I want between these two red marks. Alrighty, I think that's it. Yep. Okay. So actually, in about a few minutes, this train would be able to go back the other way and continue different service. However, we're now going to move on to the next void line. And here we are back once again here at Yamato Sedaiji. However, this time we're going to be driving on the northern line, which you can see there. Yeah, we're driving on that next. So of course, okay, it is. We're decided that the game is being all weird and stuff. Yes, it is. Here's our train once again, and this time we're driving the, no, actually, the same train as before, but yeah, there you go. And we're actually ready to depart ourselves. Alright. So this line that we're actually about to drive on is the Kyoto line. Yeah. So this here is the line that goes on the north branch, which is that line there. Yeah. So yeah, this here is the line that, well, another line that goes to the world of nowhere. And I still can't drive! Yay! Well, I think we might get held up here again anyways, but nah. 19 episodes in and I still can't drive trains. Yeah, mother! Right, we were about to get to the best bit of life. Why? And why do we have to sit here for so many years? This is so stupid. Well, on the bright side, I guess it means less waiting time once we get to the thing. Thank you. Alright, let's keep going. Alrighty then. Well, now that silly interruption's over, let's keep going on to the best part of the line. Yes. Now, I'm not actually sure if there's going to be any stations on this line, although I did pick a local service just in case. Yeah. And by the way, I did pick out each of these services in advance. Before I started recording this episode, I actually went ahead and I went to the flood mode to see which services would be best to drive for this sort of display. Yeah, don't worry. I didn't pick like a service at random or anything. I did actually do my research and make sure to pick the best services for this demonstration. Alrighty then. Well, now we can go fast. So here then, continue to drive over nothing. Yeah. You're on the Kyoto line. Which sadly isn't actually here. Oops, I didn't mean to go on auto-drive. That's it. Yeah, things are happening. Alright, come on, power up! Alright. And, no, we do have a station on this line. Okay. There you go. And now the canary's come to an end. All right. And yeah, now we're in true nothingness. Tell you what, the game sure waited a while there to tell me to slow down. Although now that the can narrator is going, I don't really get a sense of speed. Yes. So now we're truly in the world of nothingness. Version of Void. Another train which is skipping the station. Oh, come on. There we go, that's good enough. Alrighty, yep, so we're driving this guy, which we have driven before. Wait, can I go already? Oh, that was fast. No, I want to go the other way. Okay. Not the camera says to be all weird. Alright, well, since we didn't mean there's nothing here, so... yeah. Well, there's a train. Yeah, there's not even any kitten area anymore. Yeah. That's a pretty good shot, actually. Yeah, there's another train. Limit Express. Yeah, one of these would be a good thumbnail. And I'm now speeding. Okay. Well, we're coming up to the yard pretty soon anyway, although we are clear to proceed, so... yeah. Didn't realize that was, come up on the yard, but... yeah. Second emergency brake application of the day, and the same service too. I think we actually would have gone into the yard like straight away this time, but yep, of course I had to go and mess it up again. Good job, me. Again, why does it wait such a long time? I guess you have to talk to like the dispatcher or something, and he releases the emergency brake or something. Wait, no, that makes no sense. How does the dispatcher the ability to release the emergency brakes? I don't know. Alright, well now we're on our way again. Oh, there's another station right in front of us. Another one. Huh. I forgot there were 2 stations here. Nice. Alrighty then. Well. Yeah, so I just got on the brakes for nothing. Good job, me. Although we'll see how much traffic there is once we get to the yard. Anyway, this station they're coming on is actually a bit weird because this one actually has escalators. Escalators to nowhere. Alrighty then. Are we gonna stop in time? Yes, we are. Okay, good. Alright. We're then a station that's just called, one station is called Kyoto Lines. This route actually has 2 stations on it. Existing one of which has escalators. Nice. Which just go nowhere, and even the escalators themselves look pretty bad. Yeah. I think we have a few minutes to wait here. Alright, well I guess we'll take a close inspection of the station then. Well, I mean there's not much here to inspect. So we have an escalator here, we have a destination board, which is just like, although it does look interesting. Yeah. And there's like a sign up, so that's just floating in midair. Oh, we're allowed to go. Okay. Alrighty. And now we have 5 kilometers to go to the yard. Is this gonna be the yard? Yeah. Something else I've just realized. Why are those stations there? Okay, my guess is those stations are there because, well, they're there in real life, so they have them there to sort of mimic the real life timetable in a way. But then why are the platforms there? I don't know. I mean, not that any of this matters because we are on a part of the line that we're not supposed to go to, but leave me alone. All right then. Well, let's find out what it's like to go at 90 kilometers per hour through nothing. Yeah. Yeah. Now it's the signals and track. Look at this. All right. This time let's take more of an effort to not speed. I actually do want to. I mean, we do actually have a lot of time before we have to get to the yard, but I still want to, you know, not come to a grinding halt. At least not until we can reach the red signal. Right, come on, give me some power. Alrighty then. Well, I guess we'll stick it there. Oh, that's a red light, isn't it? How long until it tells us to stop? Oh, there we go. Well, that's when we're getting close to the yard. Because, yeah, one thing I discovered from my fly around earlier to get a list of these services is that there's actually quite a lot of traffic going into the yard. Yeah. So even here, we're getting stuck behind slower trains, which is ironic considering we're a local train, which is like the slowest train that runs on this line. So my chair's all squeaky. Alright, well, the yard is there. Guess we'll do see how far we can fly up the line then. See what's happening up ahead. There's a limited express train. That's going quite far, although... Wait. I thought we were moving at like super fast speed. Shut up. Yeah, here we are. And now we're getting spit back to our train. Alright. Yep, if you hear any background noise, that is Snare Road. Nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. Although my computer, I think, is being a bit more quiet today. So that's good. As there is no game audio coming through. So we're literally just listening to whatever is coming into a microphone. Yeah, we're going to get ambient audio in this game. Alright, well, let's say number limit to 30 kilometers per hour as we're now about to pull. Well, actually, I'm not even sure if we're going to be able to pull to the yard here. Actually, there's a green light, though, so maybe. Although the train. So, yeah. So these lines that just go away from the line, I actually thought those were actual branches we could drive down, but no. Well, not unless you're in the free mode thing. But yeah. which is a little bit disappointing. I would have liked that at least one of these lines would have been drivable, and you know what? They wouldn't even have to be drivable for that long, but like set in like 3 or 4 stations and then end the line there and have like a yard at the end. But nah, as soon as these lines get out of range of the scenery density, I guess that's next to the main line, then all the scenery on these branches just stop. And well, you'll never be going to these in the career. I'm just repeating myself at this point, but I just find it interesting though, you know, because again, we've never really had something like this in any Drive ATS game. Yeah, in fact, I didn't even see what these lines look like until, you know, just last week when we did the Floodwood episode. Anyway, well, I thought we were gonna be able to just get straight here, but it looks like there's another train coming out, so I guess we gotta wait for him to go and then we can go. Of course, we gotta go fast forward once we're at a signal, because yeah, mother. And here comes Mr. Train. And we should be able to pull away ourselves in just a second. Or not. Oh, there we go. Okay. Just had to give it a second there, but now we're clear. Okay, don't go above 30. No, but let's go up to 35. Nice. But that's it. Let's not have any more immersive brake applications. Alrighty then. Well, here we're arriving at this yard, which has no overhead cannon area at all. Nothing. Then again, these void lines don't really need cannon area because you're never going to go to them anyway, so why bother? Alright, well here we are then at the yard, which is at the end of the Kyoto line. There's another charter Shimakaze service. And I'm about to arrive at our destination. Oh, I gotta stop in time? Didn't overshoot that. Okay. Alright then, that is the Kyoto line, which is the northbound branch at Yamato Sadaji. Alright then, well, this train is leaving. We're now going to move on to the next void line. And here we are on the third void line. And this here is the Ikoma line. Ikoma, I don't know. The Ikoma line, which is a station that, well, another station that we've been to, of course, several times. This is like another big sort of transition station or something. I'm not really too sure. Well, of course, this, of course, is the main line. However, one thing that I actually didn't discover until just the flight mode episode is that there is actually another line here that is completely isolated, and that is this line. That is the Ikoma line, which goes to this part of the station here, which where we have a couple other platforms and such as this. This flight camera is something else sometimes. But anyway, this little station or part of the station here is actually completely isolated. Yes, this little Ikoma line that we're actually about to drive on is totally isolated from the main route. Like you can see here, there's another, you know, main line here. Oh. Okay, it's not completely isolated, but it is its own thing. There's another train that's departing, but yeah, if we go over these points, then of course we do come over here to station here at Ikoma, and we have this other train which we're about to drive. And then the line goes off to, well, I don't know actually. This is called the Ikoma line, so is this like a short shuttle line or something in real life? I actually have absolutely no idea. Maybe I should have done a bit of more research and checked, actually, before I did this episode, but maybe I'll bother to do that some other point, or hey, maybe someone out there will already know. I don't know. Anyway, we're about to depart. And here we go then on the Acoma line. And yeah, this is the little service that, well, you would not be able to do with the main career scenarios. Yeah, so... In fact, yeah, I guess one thing I should mention, in case there's anyone out there that doesn't already know, the only way to actually be able to drive on all these void lines I'm driving on this episode is to complete all the main career scenarios. Same goes for the flight mode. Now this service free mode has actually been a thing ever since Drive ATS 1 when that first released. Yeah, and this is so yes, this is actually something that I actually never knew about until Andre told me about it years later. So in all 3 of the Drive ATS games, if you complete all the career scenarios, then you can actually drive any of the trains in the service mode. Yeah. It kind of works in the same way as Train Sim World, you could say. And this mode has actually been a thing ever since Drive ATS 1 when that first released, like way back in the day. Now, of course, flight mode, that was, of course, something that was added in later. That was a thing. That was a thing that came to be in Drive ATS 2. However, this servicing has been there forever, and it exists in all 3 Drive ATS games. And actually, this is also, I can drive the green train over in Drive ATS 2. And as how we're able to drive over these void lines here in Drive ATS 3. And as also how we're actually going to be able to drive over some void lines back in Drive ATS 1. And that's actually going to come sometime in the next year. And by sometime in the next year, I mean like sometime at the beginning of next year. So about March or maybe February, I don't know. Anyway, looks like we have a train in front of us. Although it looks like we're not stopping here, actually. We're just going to change lines. Oh, yeah, this is actually it, actually. This is the whole line. So this little Acoma line here doesn't actually have a big yard like the other ones. This one is just a little... oh, there's the jolt there on the track. This one is just a little 2-track siding that exists here. Which does make sense, because... yeah, this actually makes sense though for this line, because this is something that is just totally separate from the main line. This isn't, you're not going to see mainline trains going down this route. This is totally isolated all by itself. So, yeah. If you want to, you can actually come on this line and just run up and down this line all day if you want to. I mean, I personally wouldn't do that, but hey, if there's anyone out there who would like to drive up and down this little line all day, well, you can. Although it looks like we have to wait quite a while here, as this train doesn't leave until 10:20. But we're of course not going to be doing that, although you could if you wanted to. We, however, are going to be moving on to the next void line. And here we are then, about to begin driving on the next void line. So we're actually here at Imazato, track 2. Oh, Fuji track 2. Yeah, okay. Now, as you see, we're starting off here on a part of the main line. However, this is actually where things start to get interesting. So yeah, so that was Imazato track 2, which actually, yeah, we don't usually get that sort of typing with these station names. However, we're getting this time because so we are on the main line right now. However, this particular track is actually one that we wouldn't drive on otherwise. No. Because as you're about to see, so we're now approaching Fuji, which is actually the station where the next branch line begins. However, to actually get to the branch line, you need to go to a part of the station that, well, we wouldn't normally go to. And you see here, yeah, you see those upper tracks, that's where we would normally go. However, for today, we're going to be going downward. Yeah! Yeah, we're now going on the lower level of Fuji for the first time. Which is again, that's another thing that we have never done before until now. Because of course, well, you can plainly see there's no upper floor there. And even the scenery down here is basic. They're just tracks, platform, and that's it. Yeah, the floor there, that's only visible from the upper side, which of course makes sense considering that's where all the trains go to. Um, but yeah, now we're pulling to the part of Fuse, which we would never see otherwise. Oops, as I got on the brakes a little bit late there, but that's okay. Alright. Yep, door is open. Now, do we have a bit of a long wait here? Yeah. As actually, there's actually going to be another train that's going to come along and overtake us. So yeah, that's why we're being held up here, which is fine, but still annoying. Oh, we're a local train. Oh, you can see the undercarriage. Look at that. Such a bizarre thing. And there's a cool red train. Yeah, we're gonna be leaving soon. Yeah. Oh yeah. So this fourth void line is the Osaka line. Interestingly enough. Yeah. And this one, I actually thought this was an actual branch that you could drive on. You know, I thought it was pretty cool that Fuse had actually Fuse was like a double-decker station and had 2 levels. However, well, if you're playing the cruise scenarios, what is up with the track? The track is quite janky here. Oh, don't speed. Anyway, bouncy track, bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. But yeah, I actually thought this was a branch that you could drive on because there's, you know, you have the bridge, the Kenton area, everything's here, but nope. This part of the map is completely inaccessible until you unlock the free mode stuff. But until then, you are stuck on the main line and will not be able to drive here. Another express train, hello. Alrighty then. What train are we in, by the way? Oh, we're in the other one. This one, yeah. The train that you see on the title screen. Yeah. And let's not break the speed limit this time. Okay. Oh, off to Osaka line track 25. I guess going straight to the yard this time. Okay. But it looks like before we actually get there, we're going to have to stop. Because there's a train in front, because of course there is. Oh, that red train, right. Yeah, there was a red train that got in front of us, so now, now we have to wait until he gets into the yard. Actually, you know what? Once we get close enough, we'll be able to get a preview of what's happening up ahead of us. As the Kenner zone now just ended. Let's actually get as close. You know what? No, I'm not gonna get the emergency brake. Oh, never mind. We can pull forward anyway. Okay. Well, look at that. I didn't even need to come to a complete stop, as I can't speak English. All right, well that's good. I don't really like stop-bait signals, to be honest. Which is funny because this is a free roll thing, so I don't even have to do this. I'm just doing it for the video. But I figured I would make this video just for the fun of it, just to do something that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise, and the career stuff, and just to show a part of the line that you would normally see. But yeah, this is drivable. You can go here, and you can even do like entire services that use this part of the line, which is pretty neat. So yeah. So hey, if you ever get bored of the main line, well, there's some weird lines that exist which you can drive on. Yeah. Oh, those are limited 65. All those. Is that like the maximum line speed? Or is it because there's a train in front of us? No, this is, yeah, there's green lights all ahead now. So yeah, this is Why only 65? We could go up to 90 on the other lines. Oh, there we go. We now can go 85. So I have no idea what that 65 was for. Okay. Well, 2.2 kilometers to go to the I guess the yard, because the where we're going to is called Osaka Line track 25. I guess that's track 25 of the big yard. At the end of this void line. And yeah, that's where we're headed this time. Oh yeah, one thing I actually just forgot to mention about the Acoma line that we just drove on. That part of the line is actually not marked on the map. Which something I actually probably should have showed before driving there. I do apologize for not showing that, but yeah, the Acoma line is actually not even marked on the map. Anyway, now we're about to approach the yard, and actually that red train has gone out of our way, so I guess we'll see how long it takes for the line for the signal to turn green or yellow. There's no server going past. Crikey, it's the Rosers. Oh, signal's turned green or yellow. So okay, good. So that means we're good to proceed into the yard. Yay! It's actually a nice variety of trains here. I can see we've got the charter Shimikaze service, the red trains, the limited express, all the locals. Yeah, that's one thing I really like about Drive ATS 3 is just the amount of different trains there are, you know. It's not like Drive ATS 1 and 2 where every train just does the same service. Nah, here you actually have trains that actually do their own sort of exclusive services, which I like. And they all just happen to be lined up here in this yard. There's even some on the far lines, or whatever you want to call them. Yeah. And a couple red trains lined up next to each other. And we're going to be pulling into this siding. Alright. Yep. Trains. And let's come to a stop. Alright. Okay, and that is the Osaka line, which branches off from Fuse. And yeah, so that means we have one more to look at. And here we are at Osaka Namba, which is the very east end of the line, of sorts. So, first thing I should mention though, so the service they're doing is the 1087 service, which is the Sub Semi Express. However, the service actually starts out as a different service number, and then actually changes to to this number once it gets to Osaka Namba. I actually wrote down the wrong number, so I had to go back in and figure out. But yeah, it doesn't actually start out as 1087 until you get to Osaka Namba. Anyway, so Osaka Namba, which of course has always been the east terminus. Although you know what's interesting about the station? Well, technically, the line doesn't actually end here. Now, of course, there are a number of services that do terminate here, but there's also a lot of services that continue onward. Well, now we're gonna be venturing beyond Osaka Namba to parts of the map. Well, once again, wouldn't be able to go to otherwise. And yep, we're now ready to go. All right. Some stuff on the iPad screen. Yeah, look at the station. It's all underground. Alright then. So this, and yeah, I guess I may as well mention this. So this isn't exactly a branch line. Technically, well, Yeah, technically this is an extension of the main line. Another charter Shimikaze service. I've seen a lot of those today. Anyway, yeah, so we're now driving beyond Osaka Namba. And this is actually on what's called the Hanshin line. Don't know where that goes to, but yeah. Well, I don't know if that goes to real life, but here in Trinity ATS, it goes to nowhere. Yeah. Now look at that. There's even, you can even see the void through the tunnel board. Although now we're about to rise up. And yeah, no scenery up here. Udova Station though, and also the siding where the trains can park up. And here we are at the station, which we don't know the name of. As in this game, it's just called Hanshin Line. So, yeah. Yep, the Hanshin Line, which, of course, doesn't exist. Does of course you count this. Alright. Yeah, there's another train that's now pulling out of that little yard there. Nice. And, yeah, pretty soon we'll be able to drive all the way to the end. But otherwise, yeah, there's that train now pulling. So anyway, we're going to get a better look at this little yard here. Which, well, it exists. I think we actually could depart. Yep. Yeah, little sign that's like on this little upper line here, where there's another cool red train being stored. He's there now, ready to begin his next service whenever that happens. Meanwhile, we're now departing. And we're going to be, yeah, however, we're going to be going further. Yeah, we're going to be going beyond this little yard. We're going to be going all the way to the very tail end of this line. And apparently we're not going to get there for the next 20 minutes. Oh. Okay. So there's going to be a lot of traffic inbound as we got to slow down. Yep, I knew that setting speed limit was for the curve. Tell you what, I don't think it was going to be 20 minutes. I'm guessing that's just because there's just going to be a lot of traffic. Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, I don't think there's any other stations on this line. Alright, well, let's find out. Speed. And yeah, here we are now on the last of the drivable void lines. So yeah, hope this has been an interesting video where we've been able to take a look at Drive ATS 3 in a part of the map that we're not usually supposed to go on. Of course, we got to see these lines firsthand in the Flood Mode episode last week. However, this time we were able to actually drive on the line and, well, see what this line is like from the driver's cab. So the next location of the Hanshin line, I don't remember if that's another station or if that's the yard itself. We'll see. Yeah. And actually, one thing that I actually did think of with the with these branch lines is that you can, you can just do entire services with these lines. Like rather than start at a particular station, you can just go and start from nothing. But yeah, I guess that's just a result of the first Trinity ATS route to be based, well, to be recreation of an actual real life route rather than a fictional one, and we really need to come to a stop. And yeah, this is the yard, so I guess we're just gonna be. Oh, I didn't mean to go all the way forwards. Come on. Yeah, the overhead was still here though, but yeah, if we go forwards, Yeah, so this is the yard, which I don't know why it's gonna take us another 20 minutes. I don't fancy waiting around for that long. Hmm. That's just taking us back to the train. Hmm. Alright. Well, it looks like we're gonna be stuck here for a while. So, rather than be stuck here for a while, I'm actually gonna go ahead and do something interesting. Yes. And here we are back into our dear old friend, the flight mode. There's actually a lot of traffic here. Yeah, he's going back. I think he's gonna go back onto the main line. Alright. And yeah, here's the line itself. And here is actually the train that we just drove. Yeah. Of course, we're no longer in control of him because we're not gonna sit here and wait all day. What we're gonna do instead is we're just gonna watch because you can. I mean, we've driven into so many yards today that at this point you know the drill. But let's just wait around here and just see what happens. Yep, that goes for fast forward mode here in flight mode. And this yard here, I mean, yeah, it's driving into a yard. What more is there to say? Tell you what, I don't think it's gonna be this long wait to actually get into the yard. Yeah. Actually, you know what? We can actually pretend that we're the train by doing this. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually not gonna bother and just wait around all day. I think we're actually just gonna we're gonna pretend to be the train and we're gonna pull into the track. So yeah. Here we go then. Along the line. I can see the details of the train. And of course we slow down here as we have a sharp corner. And I imagine that it's actually supposed to put us on this line here, but yeah. This yard is weird. It's slow. Yeah. Well, there you go. So that. Oh, it's all local trains in this yard. By the way, there's no Yeah. So local trains in this yard. Oh, come on. No, I guess that sure only works for forwards mode, but yeah. Otherwise, this yard is just all the local trains. Here, there's none of the charter trains or whatever. It's all the locals. Well, I would have liked to drive it into this yard, but I also don't fancy waiting 100 years for it to happen. Actually, maybe we don't. Oh, hang on. No, I don't want to go that far. Stop! Is he gonna pull up now? Hang on. Why don't I drive this guy instead? Nice, still waiting. Oh no, never mind, he's moving now. Wait, which train is this? 1805 local action line. Hang on. And here we are then, driving into the yard on this train. Alright. Yep, I do apologize for the... Yeah, I didn't think this train was going to take off, although I probably should have known better, but oh well. At least we can end this episode actually driving a train. Well, not driving, I'm actually going to let it go into the, do the auto... Nah, we're not going to drive it. We're going to drive at the speed limit. Yeah. Alright then, well, here is the tail end of the eastern end of the line. Yeah, did you know there's an next end of Osaka Namba? It goes a little bit further to avoid, and then it stops. Yeah. But yeah, there you go then. That is a look into all of the lines that you can't normally drive on here in Drive ATS 3. Yeah, too bad there's no like green train or anything in this game. It's just, you know, like these void lines they can actually be accessed by any of the trains on the main line that of course run these routes. But it does give you more services to do, so I guess there's that. Well, services as long as you're doing the free mode stuff. Alright then, well now we're just pulling into the yard, then driving a different train than what we drove in this thing, but whatever. Sometimes things happen that you don't expect, so whatever. Alright, I guess we're gonna flip around then and begin the next thing. Yes, we are. Not too long though, but yeah, but that is going to do it for this video. That is all of the void lines here in Drive ATS 3. However, this is not the end of this series. In fact, there are 2 more planned episodes here for Drive ATS 3, and those will be airing over the next couple of weeks. For now though, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in whatever I make next.